Hello everyone and welcome to Lovella's Coloring. Thank you so much for stopping by. In this video, I'm going to be doing a speed coloring of this page that I colored. The beautiful illustration is from T Fallon, also known as DurianAddict, and this is from her Blissful Babes coloring book. I did do a video with a flip through of Blissful Babes plus 3 of her other coloring books, so if you want to check that out, I'll have the link up above here and also down below in the video description. I will also leave links to her Etsy store, which is called DurianAddict, and also the Amazon link that she provided. So before I get started with the speed coloring, I did print it out onto Strathmore tone tan paper. And this is only the second time that I've used this paper or colored on this paper, so I'm still practicing and getting used to it. So part of this illustration was based with alcohol markers, and the markers that I used are the Ohuhu brush markers, and on top of that I used the Faber Castell Polychromos. All the rest of the areas are done with the Caran Luminance alone. And there is just a little bit of white Posca and Sakura white jelly roll. So I'm going to go ahead and get started with the speed coloring. I am going to be doing a voiceover in certain sections throughout this video, just explaining what I am doing in certain spots of this page. So I hope you guys enjoy. I will see you in a little bit. So here I am laying down a base of GY1 pale green. This is from the Ohuhu brush marker, and as soon as it's dry, I am going to come in with colored pencils. Throughout this video, I am going to have the names of the pencils I am using for the certain areas. So these are the colors that I'm using for the leaves, and the pencils I am using is Faber Castell Polychromos. I do start off with the Chrome Oxide Green 278. And then I come in with the Permanent Green Olive 167. And then after that, I come in with the Earth Green Yellowish 168. And then I come in and do another layer just to smooth out and darken up the colors. And then I continue with this technique for the rest of those leaves. So here's how the page now looks with all of the leaves complete. Really like how it looks. Lots of shiny leaves. And then now I'm going to go ahead and start with the skin. And the color I'm going to start off with is a Violet Gray 093 from the Caran Luminance. So on her face, I'm just laying down where I think all of the shadows are going to be and just placing them down in different areas around her face. So here I put up all of the colors that I'm going to be using for her skin. This is from Caran Luminance. I am starting off with the Carmine Lake 575. So again, this is only my second time coloring skin on Strathmore tone tan paper. So I'm just experimenting with different colors on top of each other. And so here I am using, I believe, the Herculean Red number 068, and again this is all from the Caran Luminance sets, all I believe 100 colors. And yeah, so I am going back and forth just picking colors, trying to just build up. And the great thing about this Strathmore tone tan paper is that you can add as much colors. It seems very forgiving if a color is laid down a little bit too dark. So now I believe I am using the burnt ochre 10% 872. Now this is the blush color that I use, which is Hibiscus Pink 094, and I also use it for her eyes. A little makeup there. And so I'm just lightly laying down color, gradually building it up. And again, back with the Carmine Lake, darkening up some of the areas that I think is shadowed. Now I am coming in with the Dark Flesh 40%, and I'm going over the dark areas, the Carmine Lake, and then just going out with it. Not too much, again, lightly going over the dark areas and just building up her skin again. And now I come back with the Herculean Red, going over the Carmine Lake and the Dark Flesh, and just spreading out that color towards the areas I'm going to have highlighted, like her forehead, her nose, her cheekbone. Just making sure to leave that open for the highlights. And here I'm coming back with the Hibiscus Pink, again layering it up, darkening it up a little bit. And here I'm going over all of the colors with the burnt olive 10%. Just smoothing out the colors as much as I can. In this part, I add the white 001 from Caran Luminance to all the areas that I will have the highlights on her face, like the inner part of her eyelid, the forehead, her nose, cheekbones, the upper part of her lips, and her chin. And I do make it as white as I can, and then after that I do go over it with the burnt ochre 10% number 872, just to tone down the white color. On this part, I draw in her eyes, and on the white part of the eye, I use the Silver Gray 002 from the Caran Luminance as a shadow, and then pink white instead of the white to color that white area in. And on the iris, I use the Prussian Blue 159 and the light Cobalt Blue 661. And then for the rest of her eyes, I did add some black 009. I'm not going to add the eyelashes yet until the end, when I have a majority of the page completed. So I was inspired to give her a third eye. I just finished at the time watching Doctor Strange, so I colored the same color as her two eyes. On this part of coloring her lips, I start off with the Hibiscus Pink 094, and then with the Pink White 581 from Luminance, I use that to highlight areas on her lips. The Carmine Lake 575, I do use that later on in the video when I come back and smoothen out her skin. Now I'm going to come in and do a base of alcohol markers, R110 Sardonyx, on her hair. And here it is done. So once it's dried, I do come in with the colored pencils. And here are the pencils that I'm going to be using. The colors again are going to be up on the screen. The pencils I'm using is Faber Castell Polychromos, and I start off with the color Caput Mortem Violet 265. And then after that, I come in with the Burnt Carmine 193. And then for the darkest shadowed area for the hair, I use the Dark Sepia 175. I also use the blender pencil from Prismacolor to smoothen out the colors, and then I go back over it with all three colors. Now I'm going to start in and color the palm leaves that are in front of her. Again, these are from Caran Luminance. I start off with the dark green 739, then the moss green 225, and then last chromium oxide green 212. I do also go in and use the blender pencil from Prismacolor just to smooth out the colors as I color the leaves in. So here is how the page now looks with the leaves and her hair complete. I'm now going to go on and continue with the butterflies in the background. I'm going to be using two different sets of colors, purples and oranges, and then black just for the middle part of the butterfly. So I'm going to start off with the purple butterfly, and I'm using Caran Luminance. The colors I'm starting off with is Violet Brown 129, and then Ultramarine 630, and then White 001. To finish off the butterfly, I just add black from Luminance 009 to the body, and then just a little bit of outline around the wings. And then with the Sakura white jelly roll, I just add a little highlights. So now we're going to start in the orange butterfly. The colors I am using is Cornelian 850, Apricot 041, and then Primrose 242. Again, all Caran Luminance. So now the butterflies are done, and I'm going to be using the same colors on the rings on her fingers. Now I'm going to color in the bands of her rings. Here's the colors. Then after that, I'm going to come in and color in her nails. So with her nails, I'm using the same colors that I'm going to use for her lips. I usually use the same colors for nails and lips. So again, I start off with Hibiscus Pink 094, and then Carmine Lake 575, and then Pink White 581. And again, these are all Caran Luminance pencils. Now I'm going to start with the background. The pencils I'll be using is from Faber Castell Polychromos, Sky Blue 146 and Light Ultramarine 140. I will also use the Caran Luminance Prussian Blue 159 a little bit later on. So I start off with the Light Ultramarine 140. I'm just laying down a color as my first layer, and then on top of that I'm going to use the Sky Blue 146 to smoothen it out. So I do that for about half of the background. I'm going to be coming in with the Caran Luminance Prussian Blue 159 for the horizon of the ocean. I do add a little bit more a little bit later. So here I am adding some Sakura White Jelly Roll to look like waves and the ocean behind her. And then we are going to continue on and color in some clouds. And with that one, I start off with the White 001 from Caran Luminance to just draw in the clouds and where the rest of the sky is going to continue on. So I start off with the white, and then I'm going to come in with Steel Gray 004. That is my darkest gray. And then next I'm going to blend in the Silver Gray 002, and then I'll blend that out with the white, again 001. So for the rest of the sky, I'm going to be using Caran Luminance color Light Cobalt Blue. That is 661. And so right now I'm just laying down a layer of the color. Then I'm going to go back and color it in with a harder pressure. So here is how the coloring looks so far, and now I'm just going to go back and just clean up her skin, add a little bit more shadows. So using the same colors as I did before, I am now going to just start off with the darkest color to the lightest color. So right after I use the buff titanium, I do go over it with burnt ochre 10% again, just to smooth it out. I'll now continue on with her eyes using the Caran Luminance Black 009, color in some eyeliner and eyelashes. And then I'm going to start on her eyebrows. So I start off with Sepia 407 and then Black 009. I use a little bit of the Prismacolor blender, and then I do go back and add some Carmine Lake 575. So I hope you guys enjoyed the speed coloring of this beautiful illustration by T Fallon, DurianAddict. I want to thank her so much. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to share your books and your work. And I really enjoyed coloring her beautiful illustration. It makes it so easy to color. So yeah, so thank you again to all of you that are still here watching towards the end. I thank you all so much for your support, and I will see you all in my next video. Please take care, keep safe, and happy colorings, my friends. Bye-bye.